Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I am the Midlife Makeover coach, and a lot of times I'm asked out and about when, I'm meeting new people and they're asking me what I do, in my job and in my business. And I say, oh, I'm the Midlife Makeover coach. They're like, wait, what? What's a midlife makeover? And some of them even say, well, what's a coach? And I forget sometimes that not everybody understands what it actually means that I'm the midlife makeover coach. And so I want to talk about that and what that means for you today, and then go into some other important questions you can ask yourself about change and so forth. And so, first of all, a makeover, when I think about a makeover, that word is often used, and there's been reality shows about makeovers over the years and things. And so, it's often when somebody's getting a makeover, what we associate with that word is, they're getting an overhaul of their body. Maybe they're, losing a bunch of weight, or having some, a facelift, or changing their hairstyle, or getting a whole new wardrobe, or maybe they're learning new ways to do makeup. Maybe they're getting some new jewelry. I mean, it can be all kinds of things related to fashion or body size or body type, or changes you're making to your physical self, right? Your outward appearance and so forth. And that's all fine and great. If that's important to you and you want to make changes that way, there's so many options. And whatever is going to help you feel really good is, I think, what's very, very important, because midlife has enough curveballs, enough things that blindside us that can challenge our ability to feel good and happy and keep stress at bay. And so whatever's going to help you feel better, I'm all for it, as long as you're being good to yourself and it is really has a positive ripple effect in the world. But in my work as a life coach, and I'm also a formally licensed therapist who incorporates therapeutic strategies in the coaching, with the coaching, that as a life coach, I am there to do that, just help coach you through your life. Like a football coach teaches people how to play football effectively. I'm a coach who helps you how to live effectively and make changes in your life that are really going to lead you to your highest good, your greatest happiness, and feelings of meaning and success in your life. And so the Midlife Makeover method, which is my core curriculum and the basis of my book, The Midlife Makeover Method, The Secret to Loving Yourself Fully and Living on Your Terms, which some of you, those of you who watch on YouTube, are seeing right now. This book is based on this. I have a digital course based on this. My coaching is based on all this. The Midlife Makeover method is a result of listening to hundreds of people in midlife and noticing the best pattern of things to coach them on to get them to the best years of their life so far, instead of being in crisis and not knowing what to do or where to turn. And so it's a methodology that takes you from where you are in your life and gets you to where you want to be, thus the makeover. So this is a makeover from the inside out. This is working with you, the essence of who you are, and finding out what you really want and how to get you there. And changing, a lot of what has to happen is changing your mind, changing your thoughts, learning how to use your mind as your best friend instead of it being your worst enemy to really get you where you want to go. So that's what a midlife makeover is in my world and what it means for me to be a midlife makeover coach. Now, defining midlife, that you define that for yourself. We tend to think of it in our society as people like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. But it doesn't matter. I've had people in their 30s approach me. I've had people in their 70s approach me to do makeover work with them. Basically, if you are unsatisfied in any area of your life or feeling like you know something needs to be different because you're just not having the quality life experience that you really, really want, it's time for a makeover of sorts. And it may be in just one area of your life. Maybe you need a makeover in your financial life. Maybe you need a makeover in your a relationship. Maybe you need a makeover in your professional experiences. Maybe you need a makeover in your home life in some way. Whatever it is, but often whenever you're suffering and struggling and stressed out, it's time. It's time for a makeover. So I want you to think about, what keeps you from moving forward in your life. Because if you're repeatedly, consistently unhappy in any area or in general, just really struggling, which many do in midlife and beyond, there it's going to require you to change. Like if you want things to be different, you're going to have to change. And so let's talk about that for a second, because one of the things that is one of the trigger words is change for human beings. We're very much creatures of habit. We're very much, our comfort level is often in our routine, doing things the same old way, the same old way, the same old way, even if we know it's not effective, even if we know it's not getting us where we want, because change can feel so frightening and scary. But really, it is what is required if you're going to feel better. You're either going to have to change your mind or change some of your choices and behaviors and decisions, or a combination of all of those things. That's usually what is required in the work that I do with people. And again, you may be another way that you may be suffering right now is you may be trying to heal from something that feels very tragic in your life. Maybe you're trying to heal from, the death of somebody you love, or the ending of a relationship with somebody that you really loved and cared about, or maybe you've lost your job, or maybe you're just going around in circles trying to figure out who you are and what you need and what you want, things like that. Those are all, maybe you're really struggling through the empty nest. There could be all kinds of things that you're trying to heal from, heal through, get past. And that's all part of a makeover as well, is healing. And that's where the therapist in me really comes in handy, because I can help you heal. I can help you move through some of those really tough circumstances that you've had. And then on the other side of that, help you identify, support you and serve you in identifying what's going to be best for you from this point on, and then creating that in your daily life. So let's talk about change for a minute. I want to ask you the most powerful questions I can about change. Okay. So here they are. Are you ready? Do you have a pencil or a pen or a computer that you're typing on right now, or you can type on? When you think of the word change, okay, when you think of the word change, what comes up for you? What comes up for you when you think of the word change? Now, maybe you think of the things that you're afraid of if you make changes. If I change this about myself, will they still love me? If I, move away from this community, will I be happy? If I decide not to follow through on that project, what will happen with my team? Whatever. Or do you have worries when you think of change? I don't know what's going to happen if I change my mind about this, if I change how I, act in this relationship. I'm worried. Will it be okay? Will something end? Will something, will it throw my life off? What concerns do you have when you think about change? Concerns. And then what benefits might happen if you were to change in some way? Now that is something we really want to grab onto, right? The benefits we could see as possible if we were to make a change. So, next question. What would make the last few months of this year awesome for you? Awesome, right? We've got less than 3 months of the year left at the time of this recording. What would make this year, the rest of this year, awesome for you? Think about various areas of your life, like your health, your financial life, your relationships, your professional life, your own development as a person, the environments in which you live and work. Like, if it was awesome, what would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? What would your daily life look like if your life was awesome in all of those areas? Just think about that. Think about that for a little bit and create a vision of what an awesome life would look like to you at this point in your midlife years. And then ask yourself, what is the next best step you can take to create that, right? What's the next best step you can take to create that? Okay. All right. All right. So really think about that. And then usually what happens, well, here's the fourth question. What's stopping you? What's stopping you from doing this already? Right? So the reason I ask that question is usually when people start to think about taking action, like usually they can say something that they think would be great or awesome, if something was different. And then when they start to think about the action they need to take, then something stops them. And this is very important to understand. Again, it might go back to what came up for you when you thought about the word change. It might be some fears you have about making changes, some worries or concerns you have. You also might be stopping yourself thinking, I can't do that. I'd love for that. That would be great, but I'm not capable of that. I don't know how, or I don't have the money for that, or I'm too old for that. You will start to talk yourself out of what you actually identified as what you want. There's so much resistance to change in human beings. It can be very scary, and it can be life-giving. I mean, in my own life, in my own midlife story, which continues, I have had to make some pretty dramatic changes in my life to really live how I want to live and love how I want to love. I really did. I had to take some pretty drastic steps to get there. And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't always pretty. I mean, first of all, and no, your midlife makeover doesn't have to be this dramatic at all. That's not what I'm suggesting. It might need to be for you to really get to where you want to be in your life, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But I did things like got a divorce. I moved to a whole nother community. I quit a job and started my own business. I mean, I did a lot of making over in my life. I left a religion I had been in for all my life and shifted over to a different spiritual community. I mean, my makeover has taken many forms. I got married another time. I became, I have this big, beautiful blended family now that is another major makeover in my life. And all these things are changes. And none of them have been simple, you know? And I am happier than I've ever been in my life, you know? So what's stopping you, everyone? What is stopping you? And again, I'm not suggesting you got to change your career and change where you live and get out of a marriage, or and that may not be what your makeover looks like. Your makeover may look like, I'm going to allow myself to take that painting class that I have been wanting to take for 10 years. Your makeover may look like, I am going to retire 5 years earlier than I originally thought I would because I am financially stable. I feel ready to release myself from my career. And I have volunteer things I want to do. I want to spend more time with my grandchildren. I want to, whatever. Your makeover may look like, I need to love myself, like for real. That's what a lot of you are going through, is simply not honoring and loving yourself enough so you can be happy. That might be the most important makeover that a lot of you need of all. Feeling worthy, feeling confident, feeling like you deserve to be happy. That could be the greatest makeover of all. So that's part of that inside to out. Because when you fix it all on, not fix, but when you transform your life on the inside, then it can transform on the outside. The logistics on the outside get better from the makeover on the inside. Okay. Now, one of the things you might be saying is the word should. You might be shoulding on yourself. This might be one way that you're stopping yourself, right? I should lose weight because I weigh more than the other women in my family. I should call my mother once a week because she raised me after all. I should start dating again because no one wants me to be alone. Okay. So when you're shooting on yourself like that, those are just examples, but when you're doing that, you're really saying three things to yourself. Should means you think you're wrong, you think you will be wrong, or you were wrong in the past. Okay, that's what shoulding on yourself means, that you are wrong, you will be wrong, or you were wrong in the past. So think about your shoulds right now. I should blank because blank. What are your shoulds? I should be doing this because of this. Okay, now, are these shoulds actually coming from you? Like, are these things you really feel need to change? Or do you think somebody else wants you to change in this way? Or you think society says you should be different in some way? What is that? So in other words, is it coming from you? Or is it actually coming from someone else in your life who's trying to tell you how you should live your life? Or is it coming from somewhere else, like your cultural background, your family, your family rules, your childhood belief systems, things like that, places where, that doesn't always, lead us where we need to go. So if it is not your own idea, your own feeling, then please drop it, right? Please drop it. And then you can replace the I should blank because blank with, if I really wanted to, I could blank. Fill in the blank with the change you think you might want to make. Okay, that next best step we thought about earlier, or what would make your life awesome. If I really wanted to, I could, whatever it is, lose the weight, save the money, take the trip, walk away from the job, retire now, start a relationship, end a relationship, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. Now, if you haven't done any of this stuff, I want you to ask yourself the gentle whys, okay? W-H-Y apostrophe S, or S, the gentle whys, which are, why haven't I done this? Why don't I do this? And what's holding me back? Again, we're circling back around. What's stopping us here? What's stopping you from making the changes that you know you want to make? What's keeping you from it? Okay, so in review, a makeover, a midlife makeover with me is working on making the changes inside yourself to be able to make the logistic changes on the outside of yourself so you can feel like you're living fully and on your terms, happy, with meaning, and really with anticipation of life getting better and better and better, instead of just fearing what aging means, what the last season of your life's going to look like, and fearing things that might come. Okay, so it's a setup for the rest of your life to go much smoother and better. The things I can teach you in 3 months' time, if you give me 3 months of your life seriously, and we work closely together, all that you can learn, soak up, take in, and work on, you can apply for the rest of your life. Even if you live another 40, 50 years, these tools that I teach and share in my midlife makeover method, coaching programs, and so forth, are game changers. They are the very things that I applied, the practical tools, the skill sets, the mindsets, and everything that I applied in my own life to turn it from being down, very depressed, lost, unsure what to do, desperate, to being a happy, healthy, thriving woman who's very excited for the next years of her life. I'm 57 years old, and I just keep looking forward to the next thing, you know? And I no longer live with dread or guilt or regret or stress out of my mind or sadness, I had such a deep despair, and I don't live that anymore. So I am on a mission to help you. I don't want to say the word help, to serve you in getting where you most need to be, that is for your highest good and the highest good of everyone around you. I promise you that the ripple effect of the work that we do together will go far beyond you to bring even more good in the lives of those around you and in the world around you. And isn't that important for us all to step into as well? Because the world needs happy, healthy, thriving people in it. You know, people who live as their authentic selves with integrity and care about the world and show up with great kindness and love for themselves and for everyone around them. That's what we need, right? That's what we all need and want. And we are of an age where we have so much wisdom and so much strength and so much love to offer and goodness to offer. It is going to get wasted if you aren't out there living fully. And, so that's where I want to give you the most encouragement, is to empower you to be your highest self and really go for it in life. Just really go for it and not just hide or be down and hesitate to live how you want to live. So it all starts with a conversation that you and I can have. So go to timewithcindy.com, timewithcindy, CINDY.com. I've got a calendar there. Schedule a session with me. It's absolutely free. And you can tell me where you're at in your life, what's going on, and where you know that change would benefit you. Or if you're not sure, if you give me the circumstances of your life, I might be able to really pinpoint some things, and we can tease out some ideas for you to get you started. And if you want to have me as your coach by your side through it all with you, that is what I do. And I love doing it. It's my mission, it's my purpose, or one of my purposes. And I can tell you more about that. And if you don't, it's okay. I will give you value. I promise. You will have value from this conversation. I look forward to talking with you. And I will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with those that you think would also benefit from what we're doing here. And I will talk to you again soon.